Welcome back, everybody. It's Mr. Mental Health checking in on a Friday. Hope everybody doing well. Doing pretty good, just tired. The grind, working, life. Yeah, all that counts. But before I go into it, by the way, I'm not patches today, but before I go into it, I just want to touch on that. Like, people who be like, how do you get to talk about mental health, but you cut patches in your head? It's me having fun. It's no bearings on my mentality or how I think or process information. I'm not here to judge or, do anything of that magnitude. Strictly having fun. It's no different from making all these TikTok videos and people be embarrassing themselves or having fun or laughter. So that's all that's in fun. Plus, I'm not going outside like that in public. Then again, I may. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. But today's topic, it's about trauma and how trauma is affecting us from living our best lives, like living a healthy and productive life, having productive relationships and being able to communicate, being able to process information, being able to talk things through, not having no nightmares, not feeling guilty, having to reap the traumatic situations replay in your mind. It's so many layers to trauma, guilt. Now I kind of get into that, but I'm not gonna get into everything about trauma. I really just want to keep it on me, and I like to talk about me. And in hopes that people can understand and relate and feel like they could talk about their situation too. So first of all, what is trauma? And it's like a deeply distressful and disturbing experience that pretty much affects you in every aspect of life, to some degree. And you replay those type of traumatic situations back and forth. It's like the emotional shock. It's stressful. It could be from a physical injury. It could be pretty much, it's damaging. Needless to say, it's damaging, and it has a whole lot of negative effects on you and how you operate moving forward. And for me, what was my trauma growing up? And I'm very open about this, and I'd never like to take shots at her, and she's actually doing well now. But my mom growing up was on drugs, and we experienced some, I don't like to use the word crazy, but we experienced some stuff that you shouldn't have to experience growing up. Seeing her, how we lived and the things we went through is traumatic, and it left so many, and still have them, it left me with so many issues, especially on how to deal with women, how to love a woman, how to treat a woman, how to communicate with a woman, how to be emotionally available with a woman. Pretty much, it's like you living in the wilderness and you trying to learn life, and you feel like this is what it is, but that wasn't what it is. And it just affected me and my siblings on so many levels. But just some things that I experienced along the way was her being on drugs alone is enough to where you like, is this really what life is? Like having somebody, seeing her like that, we going without lights, we not having food sometimes, we don't have the proper clothing attire to wear to school, and it hurt. It stuck with us. Like, she didn't attend my 8th grade graduation. Like, and I'm like, man, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, when mom is showing up and, and my mom is not there to support me. She didn't teach me how to say I love you. Like, I didn't get that. And I feel like it turned me like cold, hard. I'm just let me move, go here, do this, boom, 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 boom. Versus taking time to be like, all right, I love you, Mom. We didn't get that. That hurt. You know what I mean? I replay that, them scenes. Like I had one incident that still stands out to me this day. God rest his soul, he's dead. You know, whatever the case may be. But my mom was, you know, she used to go missing 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And this guy came. And I remember we were staying on 75th and Phillips, if I'm mistaken. And we was coming down the stairs, me and my uncle. And he pulled a gun. He said, "Where's your mom?" And I'm like, and I always been silly because that was a coping mechanism. That's another thing I'm gonna talk about one day. And I was like, I ain't trying to be funny, man, but whenever you see her, tell her we looking for her too. We hungry. And he said, "Oh, you a funny little nigga." Excuse my language. He like, "You a funny little blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, no, I'm not being funny. Like, I'm being real. I haven't seen her in a couple of weeks. So whenever you see her, you the last one seen her, it would be nice for her to come home so we can see her. And he left. You know what I mean? I think that may have touched him, you know what I mean, when he heard that from me. You know what I mean? I wasn't crying. I wasn't laughing. You know what I mean? I look at it now, I was laughing like, you know what I mean, back now, but I wasn't crying, I wasn't laughing, but he looked like, whoa. You know what I mean? He wanted his money, but then he didn't realize, like, these dudes ain't seen their mom either, because it wasn't a lie. Like, it was a complete, honest to God truth. Like, when you see her, let us know, because we looking for her. And I still see that. I can still not see what he had on, but I can just remember it so vividly. And it hurts. You know what I mean? Her not coming to my 8th grade graduation, like everybody getting hugs from their parents, and you know what I mean? She wasn't there, you know. I'm about to tear up, but she wasn't there, you know, and that hurt, man. Like, you know, everybody, like, this is a celebration. Like, I've worked hard, like, in school and going through so much to get where I was at, and like, she wasn't there. And the fact that she wasn't there, like, I still remember that kind of stuff. Like, and yeah, I may be emotional doing this video because some stuff is just, you know, hard to get over. Like, for real, it really is. Like, so she wasn't there, you know. She didn't show up. When she came home, it was the drugs. It was like another excuse. Excuse me. So I don't have no tissue, freestyle, you know. But she wasn't, and it hurt to know, like, you know, you couldn't stop, like, for one day to be there to support something like so positive. But it was the drugs. When you look back on this stuff and you realize, like, it wasn't her, it was the drugs, and the drugs was the reason she was like this, and that we experienced so much. And I still remember that stuff, you know. But that was my mom being on drugs, along with some other stuff that I get to as we take this journey, was some of the trauma I suffered from a child, and not even on top of, like, the responsibilities that I had being the oldest, making sure they got to school, cooking. My grandma was there, but she worked so many hours. You know, we really only seen her at evenings and on the weekends, but she was there. She was like the breadwinner, and she made up for so much slack that my mom wasn't able to do at the time because of the drugs. We ain't had no direction on what to do. You talking about being lonely, crying at night, because you like, this is not what life is supposed to be about. And that's it. Like, that stuff, that's traumatic, you know what I mean, for me. Just being scared. Like, and then just think, like, growing up, you know, everybody got on. And I'm not a flashy dude. Like, I rock some jeans. I don't care what is the name on them, you know what I mean? But not having the proper attire at school. Like, you wearing repeated clothes and kind of dusty, you know, and then she worked at the school sometimes, so people knew, you know what I mean? You know, I had this dude named Demetrius, you know what I mean? He'd get up one day like, your mama on drugs, you know. I'm like, Demetrius, me and your mom, my mom and your mom on drugs together, they hang together. So me and him get into a fight over that, you know what I mean? But you don't want to start it, bro. Like, how you get to crack a joke about my mom and your mama on drugs too? So, yeah, I can laugh about it now, but at the time, like, it was go time, you know. And my brother was angry, sisters angry, like we was trying to fend for ourselves and not having an understanding about none of this stuff, none of it. The whole her being gone for weeks at a time was like, it was insane. And because what are you supposed to do? Like, I know we were supposed to be taken up by the state. Like, we got caught. I used to interview with them. I lied so much about that. It's probably where I get it from. No, but I lied so much about that. Like, about, yeah, she's here. She blah, blah, blah. She working in school. She do this. She do that. You know what I mean? But she wasn't there. We were supposed to be gone. We were supposed to be foster kids, man. But we made it through the system. I bet you now if that stuff happened, we'd be foster kids. You know what I mean? And the way things are more, so it's more of a microscope on things. But just those moments made me suffer in how I communicated, how I had relationships, pretty much my walk with life with women, you know what I mean? And even now sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, because you talking about being on your own, we was on our own. I was, man, what, 7, 8 to like 14? That's like 7 years of like, what the hell is going on? You know, so that's what you know, like you're in survival mode. We was in survival mode all the time. And it's neither here nor there, the other stuff that I get to down the line. But the purpose of this video is really for people to find a way to be able to talk about your traumatic situation and get help about it, because you're hurting somebody else based on your actions and what you went through. And again, my whole theory is that it's not your fault what happened to you. It's your responsibility to fix it. So it's been my responsibility to fix it. And I work on it. I've been to counseling several times. I still go. And I'm open to it. I don't care what nobody say about none of that. I don't care if you think I'm crazy because I go to counseling. I'm going. Because the stuff that I seen and witnessed growing up, that wasn't normal. And you're not going to tell me it was normal. You ain't going to make me think it was normal. It wasn't normal. And it hurt, you know, and it's a whole bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? Replaying the memory, nightmares, flashbacks, sadness, guilt, feeling numb, like you grow. And that's what people are doing right now. Like, people are walking around here so numb to a traumatic situation, but you're not realizing why you can't stay in a relationship, why you can't keep a job, why you financially struggle with this, why you have an issue with commitment, why you have an issue with communication, why you have an issue with being happy, why you have an issue with ruining things that are good for you, why you think things are too good to be true, why you think people are out to get you, why you think people are talking behind your back, why, you know, it's a whole bunch of whys because of the traumatic situation. The question is what are you going to do to fix it? And you got to fix it. We, us, society, blacks, whites, whatever, like, because trauma doesn't have a color. Like, everybody has experienced some type of traumatic situation, death, tornadoes, being shot at, molestation, rape, the list goes on. You know what I mean? Somebody dropping dead in front of you, cancer. You know, that stuff exists and it's not going anywhere. The question is, how we gonna fix this? And counseling. You have to take the necessary steps to seek consultation. I don't like my videos to be long. I could talk about this. Man, I got a story to tell. And I just felt like this, you know what I mean? I was talking to a partner of mine today, and we were talking. And this is what came to mind, trauma. Like, I got so many, journal now on mental health topics to discuss. But this came to mind. I ain't done with trauma because this ain't the only situation. I got so much trauma is layers to mental health. So my advice to everybody is to seek some type of help. Talk about it. Release those. Crying is good for the soul. I just cried. I don't care, man. I don't care no more. I'm not holding this stuff in. You be walking around here, walking time bomb, blood pressure high, you have a stroke. I'm not doing it no more. I'm old enough. I'm transparent enough. I'm vulnerable. I don't care. I'm talking about it in hopes that somebody else is listening and want to release that burden off their back so they can walk down this aisle that I walk down, which is I'm doing better, but it's still a journey. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video. The video was very emotional for me. I'll do everything live, one take. So I'll probably look off this, that, and other, but you capturing the real LaRue when it comes to mental health. So I hope this video can be inspirational for somebody that can relate and understand. And I'm always here to talk, advice. Feel free to reach out. Thank you for watching. Y'all enjoy it till next time.